Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Veterans Whiskey Club live stream, May 2025. Thanks for being here. Let me make sure my audio sounds okay. People in chat, audio sound good? Let's see. Roll call formation. Eric Gunnarson's in the house. Good to see you, buddy. Check the audio settings. Oh, it looks like it's right. A little low, he says. Does that sound better? So this month is the month of May. A lot of stuff is going on in the month of May. This month is the 80th anniversary of victory in Europe from World War II. So we have a special bottle and a special video for that. We're gonna be talking about a lot of military history and things that happened in the month of May. And so if you know any military veterans that are at home and need someone to hang out with, someone to drink with, they need a friend, shoot them a line, tell them to jump on here and hang out with us, because we are going to be telling military stories as if we're at the local VFW, just a bunch of people hanging out, telling stories, sharing life experiences and sharing events and stuff like that. And you don't have to be a veteran. You can come into the bar and sit down, have a drink, and hang out with us. Pull up your virtual bar stool and come hang out. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat right freaking now. Boom shakalaka. All right, dropping the link in the chat so all of you guys can come and join. Come hang out for this. Let's see if I can pin that link to the top. If there's a moderator in the house that can, every 10 minutes, just remind us to drink water, because we want to make sure that we're drinking more water than we're drinking whiskey. And if you guys do not know, this is part of the Warriors and Whiskey Club. The Veterans Whiskey Club is part of Warriors and Whiskey. I said that wrong at first. So every month we do our virtual get-together here, but there's other chapters in other cities that do in-person get-togethers. And so if you're a veteran or you know a veteran, let them know to get linked up with Warriors and Whiskey and find out which brand ambassador, because I'm the brand ambassador in Washington, and I do the virtual hangout for all over the world. But in your local city, there might be an ambassador there that holds in-person meetups. And so if you can link up with them, go to the description of this video. You will see warriorsandwhiskey.com. That is a great place to get linked up. Or go to the Veterans Whiskey Club Facebook page. There's over 20,000 members on that. There are probably more now. And the Warriors and Whiskey Instagram page. Great page to follow. They put out a lot of content. Very veteran and whiskey focused, as you can imagine. But you can find the links in this video description. Cheers to you and your veterans active duty men and women. Yes, thanks, Eric. I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you for freaking being here. You're a great dude. Dennis, thanks for being here. Cheers. Cheers to you. Whiskey Wisdom. Matt's in the house. What's up, Matt? Good to see you. Gandy Road. What's up, Braun? Good to see you, buddy. William Hall is in the house. What's up, William? Dave Bell was saying on the live stream the other day, I did a flight from you. Hope you were able to catch that. Bill Reynolds, always good to see you, Bill. Appreciate you, buddy. Bill, let me know if I can send you some stuff. If you want me to send you some samples or just a Northwest Bourbon bottle stopper or anything that I can get my hands on, I'd love to send you some stuff, man. You're always here. Just like Bourbon's always here. What's up, Bourbon? America. Go, America. Scotch Down Under. What's up, Ken? It's good to see you, my friend. If you're not subscribed to Scotch Down Under, then you are just making poor life decisions. Yeah. Subscribe to Scotch Down Under. He is a military veteran down under, and he's a good friend of mine. I've been drinking whiskey with Ken for almost 3 years now, Ken. Crazy
And
sauce. Just like I've been drinking with Ben here for about 3 years now.
longer than that, buddy.
Oh, has it been? Ooh. We're getting old.
Yeah, we are.
So I dropped the link in the chat. It should be pinned to the top. Speaking of pinning things and having things in the chat, and Ken being from the military down under, let me put a poll in the chat to find out what branch is being represented by you and yours. It's right after I bring on Troy. Appreciate you, Troy.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Did Laura already go to bed?
She did.
Hot diggity dog. You have
The tequila took it out of her tonight.
I was like, give her a verbal reprimand. She's at least supposed to stay until the push-ups.
Yeah, she was doing virtual push-ups.
And as it just ticked past 12 midnight on the East Coast, may the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you. Love it. Thanks, Ben. I almost forgot that was the day. Veterans, whiskey quickie, done. No, it's not made for kids. Hold on, I got to put the poll in the chat to see what branches are being represented tonight. Let's go to the old whiskey, or not whiskey studio. It's a YouTube studio. Funny.
Well, I think I know what I got to pour here tonight.
Okay.
Start.
What branch, what military branch did you or your family serve in? So like I told you guys a minute ago, tonight is a very special night because this month is the 80th anniversary of the victory in Europe in World War II. I've got a special veteran-owned bottle that I'm going to highlight here in a minute. We've got a special video talking about that we're going to show in a little bit later down the road. But that was definitely a big deal. There was war in the streets over there years or so. Was that before we even got involved? Man, I tell you what, when the war ended in Europe, World War II, people were flooding the streets, just so excited to start a new life. I can't wait to get into that video later. Let's see, Navy Marines, Chair Force. Oh, what's up, Tommy D? I love Tommy D. Good dude. Jump on if you're feeling frisky there, buddy. Air Force, Space Force, other countries, military, which only has one A. It's new. That new spelling. All right, so the poll is in the chat. Drop a vote in that poll, and let everybody here know who you're representing, military branch wise. Oh, can I not vote in my own poll? That's funny.
Oh, crap. I just remembered I have a special blend I got to use tonight. I got to go grab it.
All right, I'll wait till he gets back. Independent Joe, my favorite Marine.
You don't got to wait, Mark. Keep going. That'll be 2 seconds.
Okay, go ahead. A little low. Am I still a little low, or am I sounding pretty clear?
You're fine.
You sound fine to me.
Okay, thanks. Did someone say stool? Yes, pull up a virtual bar stool. Come have a drink with us. Joe, I have got very Marine heavy videos tonight. I was honestly hoping that you would jump on because
I appreciate you.
There is some significant Marine history in the month of May. George
I'm ready to
Woodcock,
learn.
cheers. What's up, buddy? Slapshot's in the house. What's up, Slapshot? Scotty too hotty. Scotty doesn't know.
Oh, he knows.
Just subscribe to Squatch Down Under. There you go. There you go, Ken. Roger that.
Cheers, Candy Root.
Appreciate that.
Cheers,
We have
Dave.
been on for 11 minutes already, and we need to drink some water.
Hydrate.
So, like I said, just make sure you're drinking more water than you're drinking whiskey. And you keep that rule in mind. Drink as much whiskey as you want, right? U.S. Navy vet. Yep. BL Brewing Company. Thanks for being here. Make sure you throw that vote in the pool. Oh, you got a U.S. Army, Glenn. Nice.
Well, there's more. There's actually more to it in the story. I'll save it for honor of the phone, though.
Okay.
But,
My dad was in West Point. My father-in-law is in the Navy. Oh, roger that. So, are you going to vote for Army or are you going to vote for Navy on the poll? What's up, Jack?
Cheers, Jeremy.
Good to see you.
damn, Joe's sexy.
Time for water. Appreciate it. I know, dude. Joe is
I'm going to use the same Glen with you, Ben.
no way.
Do you have the same one with an etching on the back too?
It's from Douglas Papa.
Yes. Okay. Awesome.
I was going to say I don't have that, but what I do have for the 80th anniversary of the victory in Europe is that I was given a special bottle of the Horse Soldier 80th anniversary of D-Day. So they put out this.
There you go.
They put out this 80th anniversary of D-Day special anniversary edition bottle last year because that was the 80th anniversary of D-Day. And I just got it from Vince yesterday. And so I thought there was absolutely not a more appropriate bottle to drink on the 80th anniversary of the victory in Europe. Do a cork pop. And if you guys don't know about this, check out their Instagram page and stuff like that. They took a bunch of these bottles and they took them with them to airdrop on Normandy Beach on the anniversary date of D-Day last year. And Vince said, I stashed one of the bottles for you.
Super cool.
If that's not awesome, I don't know what is.
Cheers, brother Eric.
Joe, is that the 10-year?
I have it right here, but this is the
All right.
Commander Select right here.
Oh, okay. Oh. Yeah, that's a
Wow.
victory. No, I'm going to pour this one for you.
Nice. And so the veteran whiskey of the month is Horse Soldier's 80th anniversary World War II D-Day anniversary bottle. Because, like I said, got to follow the rules. I just make them up. And the rule is that you can have the same distillery as the bottle of the month multiple times as long as it's a different bottle. And so all of you veteran-owned whiskey distilleries out there, let me know that you have a bottle out there that I have not shared as the veteran whiskey of the month. And I will get you on the roster. Hold on. I've got it written down here. What is today? I think it's in my other thing of what episode this is of the Veterans Whiskey Club live stream because I wrote down each one. But let's go ahead and put up here. Let's not use the red for that. Let's use the green. Okay. So the Horse Soldier 80th anniversary special commemorative bottle, that is the veteran whiskey of the month. And so are all three of you guys all drinking Horse Soldier with me there?
Let me. I just finished up some of the Evan Williams. I'll go grab some Horse Soldier too.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Be right back.
Roger that.
Actually, let me see if I have another horse. Actually, I'm going to save this one to drink when Joe's drinking it later on. And I'm going to pour good old Horse Soldier 87.
Oh, the straight bourbon.
Yep.
Okay, that's a high rye bourbon mash bill. Yeah, solid bourbon.
Yeah, I don't know. Some guy gave it to me.
Well, that's beautiful labels. I mean, they must have spent some time and effort on that. Like, they really cared.
Yeah.
I saw that bottle at Woodman's, but did not get it.
So what is the story of the whiskey? I know it's a special bottle for D-Day. Is there?
Yeah, the whiskey is from Bardstown.
Okay.
And they put it at 80 proof to, because it's the 80th anniversary. But Vince was telling me that he told me that he really liked the flavor profile of it. And so I haven't tried it yet. Night, guys. It sounds like George is going to bed. Good night, buddy. Old Line in Baltimore is Navy, I believe. Yeah, Callie, Scotty. I actually interviewed Mark from Old Line last month. So if you missed that interview, I got to talk to him a bit about his Navy career before we got into the whiskey. So the interview you'll see with him on my show is different than anywhere else, for sure. Thanks, Candy Road. Appreciate you, man. He basically said what I just said. Greetings to all, Sante. Aviators, Echo Alpha 6 Bravo Prowlers. Roger that. Yes. What did I missed May 3rd? I'm not sure what he's talking about. All right, so I'm going to try this for the first time with you guys. Cheers.
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 Go Army.
Wow, it does have a very full coating, mouth coat. Full flavor. Front of the palate, middle, back. There's a little bit of a finish, not too much on the finish, but it's got a great mouthfeel. Remind me, guys, before we play taps, I want to give away 2 samples of this special 80th anniversary Jumping on Normandy Beach on D-Day bottle. I want to give 2 samples away to people that are still here watching us live. So don't let me forget, because sometimes when we get into the honoring the fallen and Medal of Honor recipients, my emotions take over, and I forget to play videos and do things like giveaways. So if you guys can be so kind to remind me to give away a couple samples of that, I'd appreciate it. Cheers, Matt from Whiskey Wisdom. All right, so we just talked about the Horse Soldier 80th anniversary bottle being the whiskey of the month, veteran-owned whiskey of the month. Oh, I got it right here. 20, 21, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So this is the 24th episode of the Veterans Whiskey Club live stream. Okay, so moving on from the Veteran Whiskey of the Month to honoring the fallen. When we were doing the live stream the other night, our friend Lanai let us know that it was his dad's birthday on May 8th, and his dad was Army. So I told him I'd put his dad on the board. And anybody that's in the chat, if you have any friends, family, loved ones, anybody who either is no longer with us, but their birthday was in the month of May, or if they passed away in the month of May. We'll put them on the board so we can raise a glass to them and honor the fallen. I have a few for the month of May. My good friend Alex Povolitis, he died on May 31st in 2012 when we were squad leaders together in Afghanistan. He was first squad leader. I was second squad leader. And so we did everything together. We planned missions together, had our morning coffee together, ate dinner together, lived in the same tent. And he was blown up by an IED on May 31st. Swanson, Matthew Swanson, his birthday was May 6th. He was the gunner in a truck that rolled over going down a mountain in Afghanistan, and it crushed his head and it killed him. So Swanson and Sergeant P are going on here. And then I have my buddy Tate, who was with me on my first deployment to Eastern Afghanistan in 2007. Great dude. Love Tate. Tate was the first guy in the squad that really I became friends with. Because I was a late deployer. They were already in Afghanistan and done all kinds of crazy stuff. Then I show up as the new guy straight out of basic training as a replacement for somebody who had gotten killed. And so it took the squad a while to warm up to me, but Tate was definitely the first one that took me under his wing and became my friend. He took his own life a few years back. And Banda was the first combat engineer female that I met. She took her life on May 20th. And Fletcher was our supply sergeant in Triple Nickel. And he took his own life on May 21st. So Tate, Banda, and Fletcher going on there. Time for water. Appreciate you. Let's drink some water. Goodness. It's already getting heavy in here. Hot damn. All right, so if anybody else on the panel or in the chat has any names they want to throw up on the board.
Well, I would add. I mean, he didn't die this month. It was in March that he passed away. But Mariano Papa, he was born July 1922 all the way to 2008. But he was Douglas Papa's father. But since we are talking about World War II, he was a part of that. D-Day, World War II.
Oh, awesome. Oh,
yeah, we both have the same Glenn. You might know him also in chat says GT Mustang 09.
Yes,
yeah. Yes. That's Doug. This Glenn he made in memory of his dad's service in the Army.
Father. So.
Oh, that's awesome. No, I threw up Mariano Papa up on the board. That's really cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good job.
Cheers.
Nice. All right, and I've got to get my my special honoring the fallen bottle of Horse Soldier barrel strength and put it in my Afghanistan shot glass that I bought at Kandahar, Afghanistan. And on the bigger bases, they had like little PXs, little stores and stuff like that, where you could buy like. I have a bunch of mugs that say "Been there, done that" from like 3 different FOBs that I went to. FOBs are forward operating bases. They're usually bigger than JCOPs or cops out there in the middle of nowhere. There's a combat outpost. Those places don't have shit for sale. They don't even have proper shitters. You just get shit on by the enemy all day. But at the bigger FOBs, sometimes you'll get like they'll turn a trailer into like a little shops where you can go in there and buy like Gatorade and chew and cigarettes and soda and Doritos and stuff like that. And they'll have like little teddy bears that say "With love from Afghanistan" that I'll buy and mail home to my kids and stuff like that. But I also got this Afghanistan shot glass from one of those little FOBs. Found out yesterday that my old boss, the reason why I'm with my lovely better half, probably passed away suddenly. Oh, rest in peace, Ron. Hey, thanks for sharing.
Rest in peace, Ron.
Damn. Sorry, Ken.
All right, I put
My
I
guy
put Ron's
says his
name.
father, Floyd Chester, served 26 years in the U.S. Air Force,
U.S. Air
served 4
Force.
years in the Israeli Army.
Let's see. We got Chester Kreitz. Currently in the Space Force. The Space Force thing in Colorado is in Aurora, I think. I've been by that building. But I put his name on the board. Thanks for being here, man. I appreciate you sharing. And Ken, thank you for sharing with us, man. I put Ron's name on the board. Let's raise a glass to the fallen. We say their names so others can hear their stories, and we never forget them as long as we keep talking about them. Join me as we honor the fallen. Until Valhalla, rest in peace.
Cheers.
Lest we forget. Appreciate you guys. Lest we forget.
Yeah, it's his niece that's currently serving in Space Force, Colorado.
Oh, nice.
His grandfather was the one who served 26 years, and his father served 4.
Okay. Crazy. So we just talked about honoring the fallen. We're going to move on to military news, talk about things that happened in this month in military history and whatnot. Before we do that, I want to check on the poll. See how the poll's doing right now. We're at 46% Army Coast Guard, 33% Navy Marines. Hold on, just refreshed. Refresh to the numbers change. Nope. 17% Air Force, Space Force, and 4% other countries' militaries. And so if you have not voted in the poll, vote in the poll. Who are you representing military branch-wise? Let us know.
I think them Coasties pushed you into the lead.
Yeah, and Scotch Down Under, of course, is other services. He was in the Australian Army, I believe. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, he was in the military in Australia. Yeah. So I always put other countries' military because there's always a few people from other countries here. There was one time where the other countries was in third place in the poll because there was a few people here from other countries. It was pretty freaking cool. But so the first thing, of course, that we're going to talk about tonight in military history is the 80th anniversary of the victory in Europe of World War II. I found a video that talks about that. So I'm going to watch that real quick and learn a little bit more about what was going on 80 years ago today in Europe. Yep, Aussie Army Infantry. Thank you for your service. Yep, Ken, you are a man amongst men. And if the moderators can put the links to all the other channels, if you're not following Whiskey Uncensored, Independent Joe, Baker Drinks, Scotch Down Under, any other friend of the channel, feel free to drop those links because absolutely should add military brat. Well, that's why I was saying it doesn't really. That's why it's worded in where did you serve or your family. Like if your family served, then represent that branch to the poll. Yes. So another thing is that you can only have 4 options on the polls. There's not a way to make a 5th or a 6th option. I can only have 4 options on the poll. And so I have the options that I do. And so that's why I worded the question like, what do you or your family represent? All right, let's learn about the 80th anniversary victory in Europe.
When the war seems remote and far away, these will be historic pictures. They will tell another generation how we celebrated Victory in Europe Day and how we thank the service chiefs who worked so valiantly to make it possible. Britons, impatient for the official signal to celebrate, jumped the starting gun on Monday night when notice of capitulation waited upon Whitehall, Washington, and Moscow. VEE began it, and for days afterwards, Londoners packed city streets and squares. The idea was to make a noise, and this is it. VE Day, the end of the German war. Throughout the country, at homes and at work, a nation exploded with spontaneous rejoicing for a great and wonderful deliverance. War scarred the face of Britain, but nothing ever sapped or changed the character of our people. The great news ran through the land. Manchester, Glasgow, Cardiff, Birmingham, London, in every town and village, big and small. And the true quality of Britain was seen in the manner of our rejoicing. Out came the flags. Nationwide was the celebration. For children, so many of whom have known nothing else but war, this day must have seemed like an entry into Never Never Land. Even the soberest overflowed, and not a few flowed over. 6 long years, an all-embracing jubilation rings out in the victory peal from St. Paul.
Hostilities will end officially at 1 minute after midnight tonight, Tuesday, the 8th of May. But in the interest of saving lives, the ceasefire began yesterday to be sounded along all the fronts. The German war is therefore at an end. We may allow ourselves a brief period of rejoicing. Today is Victory in Europe Day.
Seven times during VE Day, the royal family appeared on the balcony. Sardines had nothing on the crowds in Trafalgar Square and Piccadilly.
All right, so he said sardines had nothing on the crowd, so people were packing the streets in Europe on the Victory in Europe Day when the war was officially announced as being over. And so here it is, the 80th anniversary of that. So if you know a World War II veteran that's still alive, man, that dude is just determined and persistent, because today's the 80th anniversary of the end of that war in Europe. So gotta backtrack a little bit, because before we got onto the military news, we should have done our push-ups. When I told you guys about the people that I've lost in the month of May, there was 3 different soldiers that I know who took their own lives, and their birthday or the month that they did that was the month of May. 3. of people that I served with. And so that thing that you hear that 22 a day on average, 22 service members take their lives a day, it's realistically a lot. It's more than that realistically. But at the time that the kind of movement of awareness of 22 a day started, that's what it was. And so in recognition of that awareness, to bring it to mind and to know that we've got to keep telling people that mental health is an issue, especially for veterans coming back to try to live a normal life after what they went through. And you've got to keep taking care of yourself, and you've got to keep training and making yourself better, because why else did you go through all that just to give up? So we do 22 push-ups every veterans live stream after we honor the fallen. But after talking about the people that that we were honoring this month, I got carried away. So we're gonna knock out our push-ups. Troy, are we at 30 this month?
We're at 30.
All right, so because every month we've been adding one more, and we're already up to 30. So if you are willing and able, knock out 22 for the 22. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Yep. Oh, Anthony's doing 4-count push-ups. Do it.
That's Marines.
22 watching right now. Dude, that's crazy. Do 34 count. Yeah.
Whew, that's a lot for this fat old man. Whew.
All right. Thank for all of you that were willing and able to participate in our 22. Appreciate you. And so let's,
takes me longer to get off the floor. Sorry.
We're good. Let's check back on the poll. We got 42% Army Coast Guard, 35% Navy Marines now, 19% Air Force Space Force, and still 4% other countries' military. So it's still looking good. Let's see, Joe. Do you know who the first Marine who earned the Medal of Honor was?
The first Marine? Damn it. Why you put me on the spot right now? I just got whiskey and push-ups in my head right now.
No worries, bro. So they were declared Marines because during the Civil War, they were battling from a ship. Right? You're going to love this story, man. And it's not a super long video. It's less than 4 minutes. And it is a piece of history that I think you guys are going to truly enjoy.
Oh, definitely.
Let's get the share on. Yes, I understand. I'm sharing the screen. Thank you very much.
He meant Dan Daly, but I don't think Dan Daly was on a ship. Was it?
1962.
Hi, I'm Ranger Nathan Hall with Richmond National Battlefield Park. And today's YouTube video is part of a collaboration with another YouTube channel, Little Wars TV. Together we are going to update you and follow the advance of McClellan's army up the peninsula.
You're looking now at the James River as it winds and snakes its way towards Richmond. If you're following our On to Richmond weekly series, then you know in our last campaign update, the personal intervention of President Lincoln has led to the fall of Norfolk and the successful opening of the James. This river is a superhighway directly into the heart of Richmond.
And today, exactly 160 years ago, the Union Navy will test their superhighway to see exactly how far they can go.
And the answer is right here, right? This is as far as they'll go. before they run into trouble, big trouble.
And right now we're standing over 100 feet above the James on an outcropping called Drury's Bluff, just 7 miles from Richmond. Today this land is a part of our national park system, and we encourage you to visit and look out over the river with the same vantage point that Confederate artillery gunners would have seen in 1862.
It's a commanding position. Guns on this bluff could dominate a mile stretch of the river. In addition to shore batteries, Confederate defenses at this narrow bend are bolstered by the newly arrived guns stripped from the Merrimac, along with her crew. Sharpshooters are posted along the riverbank, and underwater obstacles block the channel for most of its width. But will it be enough to save Richmond?
I think you have to admire the Union Navy for testing these defenses. I love the comment made by Federal Squadron Commander John Rogers. He simply wrote, "I resolve to give the matter a fair trial."
That's an understatement, and he'll be true to his word. 5 ships of his squadron, including 3 ironclads, will appear at 7:30 in the morning on the river below.
Over the next 3 hours, an epic cannonade tears through this valley, filling the river with clouds of smoke. It's a vicious gun duel, and the volume of fire from the bluff is overwhelming. Rogers' flagship, the ironclad Galena, is hit 44 times and set on fire by an internal explosion. The fire is so intense that the 2 wooden ships disengage almost immediately.
The USS Monitor is one of the ships on the scene, and her armor saves her from severe damage.
After 3 hours, Commander Rogers orders a retreat. This will be the first and only time the Federal Navy attempts to break through the Confederate defenses at Drury's Bluff.
There are some great personal stories from this battle. One strikes my mind is the story of Augustus Drury. Yeah, that Drury. And this property is his bluff. And today he's here in 1862 defending his family farm. He's working in a Confederate gun battery.
There are several stories worth telling on the Union side, but I'd like to draw attention to a corporal named John Mackey. Mackey is a Marine on board the Galena, the ironclad that was hit 44 times. When most of her gun deck crew was disabled or wounded, Mackey dropped his rifle and personally manned one of the cannons to continue firing. He was awarded the Medal of Honor, making him the first member of the United States Marine Corps to receive the nation's highest award.
Speaking of Marines, another interesting footnote of this battle is the Confederate States of America established their own Marine Corps here.
That's right, Drury's Bluff will become the official base and home to both the Confederate Marine Corps and their version of the Naval Academy. There's so much history here at this bluff, and it's just one of many sites operated by Richmond National Battlefield Park. We hope you'll come visit us.
Indeed, with the path to Richmond now blocked on the James, McClellan must choose a different one. Join us over on Little Wars TV next week as we talk about the hard road that McClellan has to travel.
Then pull off the coat and roll up the sleeve for James.
I was just getting down on that.
I'm now having the 10-year, Ben, by the way.
All right, I'll pour it.
What's that?
I haven't sipped it yet, but I poured it.
Yeah, I'll pour it. Oh, no, I got a sample of Horse Soldier's 10-year from Joe,
nice.
so I'm going to pour it with him.
I hope you guys appreciated that. I've never gotten to show a Medal of Honor recipient that long ago. Was it Troy? Was it last month or month before we did one from World War I, which we don't see very often?
Yeah.
Right.
And now we got one from the Civil War. That was really freaking cool.
Yeah, definitely.
And the first Marine who ever got the Medal of Honor.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna make sure that doesn't leave my head. Mackey, Corporal Mackey.
Guarantee they gave that to you in school.
They probably did. But
in that first couple
weeks.
So
long. It's been so long. I mean, that's not an excuse. It's an excuse for me, but you know. But yeah, Anthony had mentioned Dan Daly earlier, but he was one of the first to win 2 Medal of Honors.
Oh yeah.
Well, not win, awarded. Sorry,
Awarded. Yeah.
Didn't mean that. A slip of the tongue.
I know what you meant. Glad I found y'all tonight. Hey, Anthony, we do this Veterans Whiskey Club live stream on the first Saturday of every month. That way, veterans have a place to where we can get together, drink with other veterans, talk about military history significant to that month. And we do this every freaking month here. So just put the alert thing on the YouTube, whatever. However YouTube works. You know the thing. So put the alert on. That way, next month when we do this again, you can be here to learn with us about things that happen in June. Because there's a lot of other stuff that we're going to be talking about in June next month.
And Mark, I want to remind him, you don't have to have a setup like this. If you love somebody you served, you can get on here. You could be on your phone. your laptop, whatever, anything with a little camera, and a microphone, you can get on here and have a pour with other people.
Yeah, I've had veterans from all over the country, or all over the world,
All over the world.
and
All over the world.
and jump on screen, and it's like pulling your stool up to the bar with a bunch of veterans talking about military stuff. You just got to have that intestinal fortitude to pull your stool up to the bar and have a drink with them. That's all we're doing.
Yeah,
We're sharing war stories and drinking whiskey. I tell you what, you don't get much finer than that, finer than frog hair as far as I'm concerned. All right, so what I'm doing right now is I'm pouring samples of this 80th anniversary horse soldier so that in a little bit, people that are still here hanging out and drinking whiskey, I will send you one of these samples just for being here drinking with us. How's that sound?
he will hand deliver one of those to you.
I will give it to Kevin Costner and he'll put it on the back of his horse and he'll deliver it.
Hey, Mark, what do you know about the Horse Soldier 13? I saw advertisement for it.
Whoa, I don't know. Horse Soldier 13.
Like 13 year?
13 year, yeah.
Is that a
This is a
Commander
13 year.
Select?
This
It's
is
not a
13.
Commander Select. It had a different title to it. I'll see if I can find it.
There's a couple things I can tell you about Horse Soldier that I heard from the horse's mouth. Pun intended, just being funny. But I met up with Vince yesterday, and he let me know that they are not. They don't have a partnership with Middle West anymore. They were contract distilling, right, to where it wasn't Middle West mash bill or nothing. They weren't sourcing. They were contract distilling from Middle West when they were first getting up and operated. They are no longer getting anything from Middle West. They are 100% in Bardstown right now, but they are fully involved in building their own distillery. He said it's huge, it's beautiful, it's an awesome facility, and it's going to open. Right? It's going to open summer 2026, and so next year we should be seeing their own distillery up and operational next year.
Nice.
But they are contract distilling with Bardstown right now, and a lot of their stuff that they're getting in their special bottles and whatnot is Bardstown distillate. Now, if you guys don't know, the owner of Bardstown is Mark. He's a Navy vet, and so him and the horse soldiers get along just fine. But I tell you what, I got these two Horse Soldier 80th anniversary samples bottled up, 2 full ounces. No scrimping on these sample glasses. Exciting news. Love the Horse Soldier 10-year. Dude, the 10-year is freaking awesome. Road trip, absolutely. Find and freak here, spread 3 ways. Freaking Horse Soldier, hell yeah. Thank you for your service. My dad, grandfather, and great-grandfather, uncles, and stepdad were all in the military. Okay, so which branch are you voting for? Are you going to Army, Navy, Marines? Which branch were they primarily in, or which one would just you vote for? So Troy, did you have something else on that 13-year before we get into the next video?
It's called Horse Soldier Liberty 13 year. It's a limited edition bourbon celebrating America's 250th anniversary.
Okay, so Vince did tell me about that that bottle. So later this year, I think it's July 4th or July 5th or whatever it is. Been the 250th anniversary of the United States Army. They are putting out a special bottle, and Vince let me know that he was going to secure a bottle and make sure I got one. And so for the 250th anniversary of the Army, I am going to be highlighting the special edition anniversary bottle from Horse Soldier, and I will be giving away samples.
It says distilled and bottled in Somerset, Kentucky.
Cheers, Nick.
Okay.
Somerset. Who's in Somerset?
Cheers, Nick. Good to see you. Is that technically the town Bardstown is?
No idea.
Well, that's where they're putting their own distillery. That it hasn't been built yet, but that's where they're gonna build it or put it.
Right, but somebody had to be distilling there 13 years ago for it to say that.
Right. All right. So
even the 10-year has bottled and distilled and bottled in Somerset. So,
Oh, okay.
but even though it wasn't, so yeah.
Who gives a shit? They're good dudes. They did
Yeah.
the thing, and they make good whiskey.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing everyone's attention to sacrifices made by those in uniform and service made for supporting the family. Hey, thanks, Rye Guy. I appreciate you being here and hanging out and drinking with us. I didn't vote because I didn't want to choose since I didn't experience, but 3 years in the Army, 80s, that was Navy, World War II. Roger that. Hey, I get you, but you can definitely vote in the poll. Good evening. What's up, Josh Fritz? Good to see you. All right, so you guys know the theme of tonight is the 80th anniversary of victory in Europe, World War II. And so, of course, the first Medal of Honor recipient, that the actions, what happened on that crazy day in their life to where they earned the Medal of Honor, happened in the month of May. The first one I'm showing with you is, the first one I showed was from the Confederate Army, because that was the first Marine, and that was just an awesome story. I was excited to show that with you. But the next one is definitely from World War II. And so I want to show you guys a World War II recipient of the Medal of Honor, where the actions took place in the month of May. And I'm going to have a sip of water.
I was born in Mississippi, a little town called Edinburgh, Mississippi. I grew up on a farm. What a young man or a boy would do growing up on a farm is they raised cotton and corn, and we worked on the farm. I remember the motto of my first unit for the 1st Division: no mission too difficult, no sacrifice too great, duty first. And I believe that I felt that.
Van Thomas Barfoot enlisted in the Army in 1940 and was assigned to the 1st Infantry Division. The one-quarter Choctaw would later be described as one of the most significant Native American heroes of the Second World War. After reassignment to the 157th Infantry, Barfoot participated in numerous amphibious landings in Italy before finding himself near the town of Carano in May of 1944.
My unit landed at Salerno after Sicily, where we were trying to gain a foothold into the mountains. And of course, we were held there by a tremendous German force all the way across the Italian peninsula of the boot.
Barfoot's unit had been in a defensive position for weeks when the order came down to attack.
I did numerous patrols out in the enemy territory. I actually took a patrol to within a few hundred yards of the objective that I was assigned. So I knew it very well. I knew quite well where the minefields were. And we knew we had a minefield to go through, numerous mines. So the first thing we had to do was get through the minefield. The enemy covered the minefield with machine gun fire. As we got there, we began to receive a small arms fire, and I asked Lieutenant Nation, my platoon officer, if he would let me go out on the left flank, because I had been in that area, and take the squad and go out, and we'd take the machine guns out. He would cover us. So we went out, and fortunately I was able to reach the first machine gun. We were able to eliminate it. As I moved down the trenches, coming to another one, I was able to eliminate part of them, and some surrendered. Then I went on to another position, and I think that there was only one or two on that position, but there were several other German soldiers in the trench. Well, the whole group surrendered. Then the platoon moved on forward.
In all, Barfoot captured 17 German soldiers.
Damn.
But the day's action was far from over. Soon after, Barfoot spotted 3 German tanks closing on the unit's newly captured position.
3 people in the rocket launcher is all we had to, against tanks was just a bazooka, as they called it then, and I went out, and I knew that we weren't any match against any one of the 3 tanks that we saw coming. So I ordered the people with me back in the ditch. I took the rocket launcher, took up a position to where I could get the tanks as they moved and let one move. And he came within a very short distance of me, and I was able to knock off the track of the tank. When I did that, the tank started to turn, and the people got out of the tank.
Barfoot's action effectively halted the German counterattack, and although greatly fatigued, he persisted in helping 2 wounded comrades travel 1,700 yards to a position of safety.
When I got to regimental headquarters, it had been raining and it was miserable, and the assistant division commander stuck out his hand and shook hands and I congratulate you. And I asked him what for, and he told me that he had received information that I'd been awarded the Medal of Honor. It means so much. Most it means to it is a recognition that the troops in my unit gave me when they recommended me. All this came as a surprise to me because I felt personally, and still feel personally, that I was doing my job. A leader is supposed to protect, lead, and sacrifice himself if necessary. I just can't imagine me ever fighting for a leader that wouldn't do that.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Wow.
Cheers, Ben.
Cheers, brother.
Good story. Good story. There's so many stories from World War II, especially that you just don't hear about. That I truly, like, genuinely enjoy finding stories that I've never heard of before, of these great men that did these great heroic things and somehow just are kind of fading away. So I want to put them in the spotlight for a minute with you guys. And I'm thankful that you guys are here with me to do that. And so that is a straight up segue to the Forgotten War, which you guys all know is the Korean War, the Forgotten War. There has not been a bloodier battle that less people talk about. So here's did anybody have anything that they wanted to shout out about that last one before I go on to the next one? I don't mean to not give you guys.
Sir.
I mean, the only thing I got is that dude took out 17 Nazis on his own. He didn't even kill them. He wrapped them up and brought them in.
Right. It's easier. It's easier. I can tell you personally, it's easier to kill the bad guys than to wrap them up and bring them somewhere. Because then you have to fucking deal with them the whole trip there and the whole time that they're there. Somebody has to deal with them. If you just wax them on site, you take some pictures, you fucking roll on. You're good to go.
You're busting out the heroes. I had to bust out the hero rye.
Oh, roger that. That's a good one. My dad was in the Army in the Korean War. He's 96 and still driving. Hot diggity damn.
Yeah, I would say some of the most badass dudes I've known in my life were Korean vets.
Oh, dude, Korean War vets were crazy. Cheers, Mark, Baker, Joe, everybody. What's up, Ben from the North? Good to see you. Canada
Cheers,
making its appearance. My grandfather opened up a little once in my entire life. One time. Gotcha. Yeah, dude. Well, because you were a Marine, right? And so, yeah, once that you served, like other service members from World War II, Korea, Vietnam, they'll open up to other veterans more than they'll open up to their wife and kids. I'm telling you, because they know that you can freaking relate.
Actually, that can I put one more on the Honor of the Fallen board? That reminds me. He fell at the end of April, beginning of May. Arthur Aldenofi Sr. He's a Korean War vet that he's my best friend's father, was my best friend's father-in-law.
You said senior?
Yes.
Okay. I wanted to make sure I got that right.
And he taught us a lot of things. Like, he was just a badass. Like, dude was working with his hands into his 80s.
Yeah.
Just an awesome dude.
Yeah, Marvin, we had a great get-together tonight, but I'm glad that you're here with us. We are about to get into the Korean War Medal of Honor recipient from the month of May. And Ben, I did throw him up on the board. Appreciate you, Aaron. Dave, nice. My grandfather, a Korean War vet. Yeah, I've personally got a lot of respect for the Korean War vets. My stepdad's brother was killed in the Korean War, and they did not receive his remains for 3 years. Just because of the fact that his brother died north of some imaginary boundary line or something. And so for 3 full years, they didn't receive his fallen brother. And, here I am hearing this story from him this many years later, and he's still tearing up about it, even though he's, pushing 80 years old, tearing up, talking about his brother who died in Korea and how it took them 3 years to give him the remains because of the issues with where he was in Korea and stuff like that. Dude, lots of craziness. Let's get on to this.
Hey, prayers going out to William Hall's grandfather-in-law. Cheers.
Oh. Yeah. Cheers.
He's in the hospital tonight, so
yeah.
Hey, we're keep him in your prayers.
All right. Hey, William, thanks for sharing, man.
Will, what's his name?
Korean War vet. Sharp as a tack. Yeah, we'll put him on our prayer list. We'll appreciate it.
There you go. Art Whitaker. Get
Whitaker.
well soon, man. You tough badass.
Yep. Hey, fight through, Art. Cheers.
I came from a poor family like many others. Dad was from the old country, Mexico. You know, that machismo stuff. He had it. He raised me up saying, son, you be a man.
Appreciate you, right guy.
You be a man. And you don't be afraid to die if it takes it. Of course, Dad wasn't up in the front lines being shot at when he told me that. So.
On May 21st, 1951, Private First Class Joseph Rodriguez was given the opportunity to make his father proud in a way that neither of them could have imagined. As part of a massive counterattack designed to regain lost ground, Rodriguez's F Company was dispatched near the tiny village of Manyiri, Korea, and ordered to take a small but strategically vital peak occupied by well-entrenched communist troops.
I remember that morning, and it was a beautiful day, a rare, beautiful day. Another unit attempted to take that hill, and they never made it. So the casualties are so great, they pulled them back, and then they sent us up. And my particular squad, which is composed of about 8 or 10 men, led the attack, and it wasn't nice. We got pinned down just like our predecessors, and we couldn't go forward, couldn't go backwards, sideways. We were just pinned down. Really couldn't see them. All I knew is it was up on top that the problem was. They had some bunkers, pillboxes, and I knew there were men in there shooting at us, automatic weapons, machine guns. I knew they were up there, but where, I didn't know. And I got very angry. We were also helpless. So it happened. I felt something had to be done. I didn't even think about it, just did it.
He said I got angry.
Recognizing the hopelessness of his squad's situation, Rodriguez single-handedly launched himself upon the unshakable enemy. With bullets showering the dirt all around him, he ran 60 yards over open terrain toward the hidden bunkers in a last-ditch effort to complete the mission.
I had my rifle, but I also had about a half dozen grenades. And I threw them. The grenades didn't get them. So I got some more grenades, and it was automatic. I just knew you pull that pin, you release that handle, and you better get rid of it. And I ran out of grenades. So I ran back to where the men were at, still pinned down, and I collected a few more grenades and went back up, tossed them into the bunkers. So I kept doing it. And I finished throwing those grenades, the firing stopped. I was in the hospital in Japan, recovering from the wounds, and when they mentioned it, I said, okay. I had no idea. At the time, I didn't know one medal from the other. It was in Washington, D.C. President Harry Truman presented it. And you know, even at the time of the presentation of the award, I didn't fully appreciate what was going on. I knew it was significant because the president, I mean, gee whiz, but I had no idea it would have such an impact on our lives. I think it's made me a better person. I know what it means now. It's a great responsibility because I can be invited to talk to the kids in our country. And I tell them, you got to start with yourself. You got to love yourself.
Holy shit, he was young.
Believe in yourself. You don't realize how lucky we are. So appreciate it. You be proud of your heritage. You're American. You are America.
He said, I just kept throwing grenades and then I ran out, so I found some more grenades. Hear those? He just went up there to take out those machine gun nests all by himself. Craziness. All right, so let's check back on the poll. How's the polls doing? Let's see. We got 46% Army Coast Guard, 31% Navy Marines, 17% Air Force Space Force, and 6% other countries' military. Roger that. I appreciate all you guys being here and participating, including Z-Man, what's up, buddy?
Z-Man.
What up, Z?
Appreciate you.
William Hall.
Bye now, man.
Yep. Hey, thank you for sharing, William Hall. Appreciate you, man. Joker's in the house. Yes, he's in there. Uncle served. He died in a car crash. Dude, I've got a couple buddies that had multiple tours in Afghanistan and whatnot, and then died in vehicle accidents back here stateside. Fucking sucks, man. I have 3 guys that I went to Afghanistan with who died on the roads here in America.
Well, I got 2 here in Arizona, and one of them is still fucking alive. He was my transportation buddy. But there was another guy that was actually hauling a trailer with bikes on it, and they were doing a fucking military thing for it, and some idiot ran over the trailer, and he was on the bike and ran over the bike, and it fucked his back up, and he's still fucking living that dream, you know?
Yeah.
You don't get messed up when you're overseas. You get messed up when you come into the States, and I'm like,
yeah, that freaking sucks, man.
It totally does. And my other buddy was a Army, 11 years, made it through Iraqi freedom. And you're kind of saying where they don't tell you everything. He's not telling his wife anything. He's not telling his 4-year-old son anything. But me and him, we could go to work, and we'd drive down the road, and he would just bleed out. Because he
drink water.
Well, he just needed to tell somebody what the fuck was going on. And I'm like, you all right? And he goes, no, I'm not all right. I'm like, okay, then tell me what you want to tell me. Because he was telling me what they did with the bodies, and it wasn't a good thing. I just thought I'd share that.
Yeah, dude, it doesn't sound like it.
No.
All right, so we're still going through the Medal of Honor recipients from the month of May. We're moving on to Vietnam. Got a video from a Vietnam Medal of Honor recipient that I wanted to share with you guys because that's what we do here. We make sure their stories get actually heard instead of forgotten.
Right.
Eric, I greatly appreciate you reminding us to drink water. Much love to you, Eric. I really appreciate you.
I was born in Kansas City, Missouri, and I spent most of my childhood in the area of Kansas City, Missouri, and Kansas. My family was always involved in some kind of work, house constructions or other entrepreneurial things, so I kind of grew up supporting their activities and desires. And I think most of the time that I grew up, the fun things I used to do was just like any other kid, you know, and prior to having a vehicle, you know, we didn't have the things they've got today to get us in trouble, so we were constantly looking for things to do, but it seemed to be easier. You know, we had simplistic desires and needs.
Donald Ballard joined the Navy in 1965. He wanted to be a dentist and chose the Navy as a means to pay for his education. During basic training, he was informed that dental assistants were plentiful, so he was instead volunteered to serve as a frontline medic with the Marine Corps.
Voluntold.
Yeah.
Not volunteered, voluntold.
On May 16th, 1968,
we don't need a dentist,
Ballard
we need a
was
frontline
returning
medic.
from administering
Go to the
routine
front line.
treatment for heat exhaustion when his company was ambushed by the North Vietnamese.
And typically was they'd let some of us get by, and then they would get in the middle of us and start ambushing us. And then the cause and the effect was that the Marines would turn around, because now we're getting attacked from different positions, and we'd start firing, so to know that we're firing at each other. was a tactic that they would employ against us, and then they'd drop out of sight. Now we've got M16s against M16s. In that particular day, it started out pretty bad. The unit continued to move on out, and we started receiving more and more casualties because we were working deeper into a pretty good size NVA element. Well, as a corpsman, again, my job was to treat the wounded. So when they hollered doc or corpsman up, my job was to run to the patient, treat him there, try to evacuate him back to a collection point that we could then call in a helicopter and get him medevaced out.
Yep, absolutely.
At one point, Ballard rushed through enemy fire to a wounded Marine and swiftly rendered medical aid. Ballard then directed 4 Marines to carry the casualty to a position of safety. As the 4 men moved the wounded Marine, an enemy soldier hurled a hand grenade at them.
Oh my God.
Ballard fearlessly threw himself upon the hand grenade to protect his fellow Marines.
Jesus.
Ballard waited for the explosion for what seemed an eternity, but the grenade failed to detonate.
What?
Good.
He then rose and continued to treat other Marine casualties in a battle that would rage on for several days.
Dude, a medic that would throw himself on a grenade is rare.
True.
Because a medic knows that
Nixon
if he goes
came
down,
in
he's not saving
in the
anybody
White
else.
No,
This was
he's
in
dead.
May of 1970. I don't feel like I did anything spectacular. I was a patriot. I was an American, and I was wanting to do the right thing. But I can tell you, in all honesty, I was scared. I was afraid. I was not so much afraid of losing my life, but in a sense I was, because I had a wife and 2 children at home. I wanted to get home. And I can tell you that there's a lot more deserving people out there than me that should have gotten the Medal of Honor. And I was awarded the Medal of Honor basically for just doing my job the best I could do it. For me to want to commit suicide and give up my life for a cause wasn't me. You know, I didn't care whether we was fighting the North or the South, or if it was Democrat or Republican, or if it was whatever. I had survival skills in my mind and to get these Marines home. But I wear this medal for all veterans that's ever served in uniform. And I'm very proud to represent the corpsmen, the FMF corpsmen that served with the Marine Corps.
Yeah, those stories are just fucking off. They're off the wall now. They're off the fucking wall.
No, dude, I've got a very unpopular opinion. Because as a leader in the military, you don't want to tell people to do something that you wouldn't do yourself. You want to be that leader that's out there on that 4-man lift. You're gonna grab one of the corners and blah blah blah.
Well, and that should be your fucking daily job.
Right, but I was doing some pre-deployment training, like going to the NTC, JRTC, White Sands, New Mexico. You do these big pre-deployment training things, and you go out there and you crawl in and you pretend like you're really looking for the bombs and bad guys and stuff like that. And I remember this one cadre who was helping and coaching, mentoring us, who said, "All right, so you're the squad leader, and you were the one that low crawled down there to investigate that IED. Why did you go and do that?" And I was like, "Because I went to the training and I know how to, disarm IEDs. I know how to do all the clear it, render it safe, and all that stuff." And he was like, "Yeah, but if it blew you up and you're the squad leader, so you're the most experienced and most educated one in the squad, where does that leave your squad?" And I was like, kind of fucked. He was like, "Okay, so if you sent one of your privates down there and told him exactly what to do and what to report back to you so you could tell him what to do afterwards, if you lost that private, what would your squad be losing?" I was like,
Believe.
I was like, we'd be losing one of our guys. And he was like, right, but you could still help train and progress them. And so it just hit me when the medic of the unit jumped on the grenade. So if the fucking medic died, you didn't have a medic anymore. Do you understand the significance of that? You don't have a medic anymore if your medic dies. So the fact that the medic tried to sacrifice himself for the guys was fucking wild, because if the medic dies, you don't have a medic.
Yeah, that happened with my pops.
If one of these soldiers die, he's one of the soldiers, right? But so what I was being taught by one of the people getting us ready for one of my deployments was that you as a leader can't be that, oh, I'm going to sacrifice myself because I'm not going to tell my private to go do that if it might hurt him because of blah, 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 whatever reason. It's like, no, you've got all these other soldiers that you need to lead and train. And so you being that one making that sacrificial move is not beneficial to the unit at all, because you still have a mission to accomplish.
So why don't they just, if you're the boss and you have all the people behind you, why are the other people behind you not jumping on it?
Maybe they're not in the position to. I don't know. But the message is that no single person is more important than the mission. And so us as the leaders of the unit shouldn't be the one diving on that grenade. We should be instructing troops to do X, Y, and Z to accomplish said mission so that we can continue on and do the commander's intent and get the mission done. All that kind of good stuff.
That's a story I've told before. My pops was a corpsman in Vietnam, and they literally had to tear their Geneva sanctioned Red Crosses off their uniforms because the Viet Cong were picking off the medics. They were picking off the corpsmen. Yeah, so they literally tore off their patches and threw on a gun so they wouldn't get picked off.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's real from my pops.
Yeah, and that sucks because it's against the Geneva Conventions and all the other laws that we follow that other countries don't follow. Is that you don't target chaplains and officers and medics and stuff like that. And as Anthony just said, it's a choice you make on the spot. You don't usually go through all that thinking of all that. Troy, what are you doing over there? Are you popping bubble wrap?
I'm smashing water bottles.
No.
Well, whatever microphone that you have on that's not your voice mic is definitely picking that up.
Yeah.
Must be I wonder if the camera mic is on or something.
Something else, because I saw you push the button to talk into it, and I'm like, we were hearing every fucking inch of that bottle crushing. That's fucking funny. All right, hold on. Let's do a refresh. Take a look at the poll real quick. We've got 46% Army Coast Guard, 30% Navy Marines, 16% Air Force, Space Force, and 8% other countries' military. I appreciate you guys all being here, representing and all that stuff. And we just talked about Vietnam. We are going to get into a recent. I'm excited to show you guys this video. So this is from the war in Afghanistan. It is Sergeant Petrie, who is a Medal of Honor recipient, and Troy, you were talking about wanting to see more videos that showed the actual combat.
Yeah, you had some great stuff last month or month before.
Yeah, instead of the videos we just watched, they showed like little news clips or whatever of people in Vietnam. Then it would show the guy talking. Then it would show like other clips, but it wasn't from the actual event. Now, I did not watch the whole thing of this video. I just watched to see what it was about, to see if there was a video I wanted to share with you guys. But I'm telling you, it's a recreation of the battlefield when he earned the Medal of Honor. And so I'm excited to watch this with you guys to see what you guys think. And then I have a lot to say about it afterwards. So everybody grab a glass of whiskey, grab a glass of water, have a sit down, and learn about Sergeant Petrie and what kind of freaking crazy day he had here.
I was camping in our Pecos Wilderness during Memorial Weekend, having a great old time, and got a call that my son was injured.
Dude, that was such
that we were anticipating.
That was such a heartfelt
that day.
Expression right there.
It wasn't customary. It wasn't the type of mission that we generally do.
It was a very unique mission in the sense that it was a rare daylight raid. It was.
Did you guys all catch that expression from his dad?
Yes, sir. I did.
Oh my goodness, that was so poignant and heartfelt. That was freaking awesome.
You knew something bad was going to happen.
Wilderness during Memorial Weekend, having a great old time, and got a call that my son was injured.
The mission that we were anticipating we were going to get that day wasn't customary. It wasn't the type of mission that we generally do.
It was a very unique mission in the sense that it was a rare daylight raid. It was in an area that we did not have a lot of U.S. presence in, but we knew that it was an opportunity to strike hard against the enemy and an enemy network that was worth it.
I mean, we were all really pumped up about it because it seemed like there was going to be action happening.
Leading into the morning of the assault, we had a fix on the location of our targeted individual.
Everybody had that same sense of we needed to get business done. We knew this was an opportunity and it was a fleeting target, and this was the reason why we're going.
We went out, we loaded on the helicopters. I just remember usually you can't see the Rangers' faces because it's usually dark when we get in those things. And just the blank stares that was on everybody's face, because that level of comfort we usually have when we go in at night just wasn't there.
As soon as we landed, we started to receive enemy contact. And as that was going on, Rangers do what Rangers do best. That's neutralize and destroy the enemy. To be able to look fear and danger right in the eyes and be able to say, hey, let's get ready to take care of business.
There was actually a decision made to split the force, which kind of changed the dynamic of how we were going to assault the primary target.
First squad was clearing another building, and I was in third squad at the time, and Sergeant Petrie was the weapons squad leader, and he was with us.
Petrie was up there with that squad. He was up there in charge of that element as they moved in.
Many situations where we have troops in contact at close quarters like that are resolved very quickly. It was apparent from this one that this was drawn out. This was different. There's no question about it.
Me and Specialist Gathercole were clearing underneath, and Sergeant Petrie and Robinson went back to clear the chicken coop and whatever was in the courtyard. So when we were down in the basement, we got the call that Sergeant Petrie and Robinson were both hit.
We were actually back clearing into the compound, and I remember seeing the guy out of my peripheral vision. Two guys with AKs at their hip, just spraying, and one happened to strike me right in the thighs. And I didn't know I was hitting both thighs, but it hit my left thigh. And I ran for cover, leading out in front of PFC Robinson, who was behind me, and he was struck right in his rib cage on his left side.
I got out there first. I noticed that Petrie was shot through the legs and Robinson was laid out on the ground, and I immediately took out a tourniquet because I was going to throw that on Sergeant Petrie's legs. And then that's when a grenade came over the wall and that kind of blasted me and Robinson. And that's where I got knocked out. Sergeant Roberts and Specialist Gathercole came out and they started engaging those two guys that were throwing the grenade. And then Specialist Gathercole was shot.
When I came in the front door of this compound where they're at, you know, I see Staff Sergeant Roberts dragging another one of our guys into the back door. And there's like a trail of blood. He's all bloody all over his face. I said, you know, who's this? And he's like, it's Gator. I'm like, all right, what do we got? He's like, we got 4 Eagles wounded. You know, they're getting ready to put him on the litter. And I asked the medic, I said, hey, Doc, do we need to put his helmet on for transport? At the same time, it was Sergeant Bates, our company senior medic, looked up at me and just kind of went, like, hey, this guy's not going to make it.
When I turned around and another grenade was pretty much right behind me and Robinson, and we were looking this way, shooting at this guy, and the grenade landed right there, and Sergeant Petrie lunged for it. He grabbed it and was throwing it around the wall, and I saw it go off, and then he came back and, you know, his hand was gone.
I could tell you that what kind of went through my mind, and if I could kind of show you with the prosthetic that I have.
Yeah.
This thing comes off, but it was literally just cut right off at the wrist. There was a little bit of meat skirt, so to speak, for lack of better words, hanging around the edges, and it was oozing. I could see the radius and the ulna bone sticking up maybe about a ½ an inch. It was vivid where I could see the black marks from where burns were, and a little bit of the dirt and the smell of still explosives. And I sat up and I grabbed it. And it's a little strange, but this is what went into my mind was, why isn't this thing spraying off into the wind like in Hollywood? And then right away just got back to reality. Oh crap, got to put a tourniquet on it, which we keep tourniquets on the outside of our kit.
Yep.
And I grabbed that and I was able to tie it down, and because of the good medic training that I got when I was going through the courses, but stopped the bleeding.
As I was running between the two buildings, Sergeant Petrie himself called me up on the radio and said, my hand is gone. And I said, I'm on my way.
First guys that ran up to me was a first sergeant. He ran toward me and he grabbed me in an attempt to say, hey, come on, we're going to get you out of here. And I said, no, you're not going to take me anywhere until you kill those guys and stop the volume of fire they're laying down on us.
Just the fact that he was still throwing grenades at the enemy, like, I mean, that's awesome right there.
The younger guys next to me were kind of still in shock and awe, so maintaining control, maintaining awareness, trying to remain calm so that they stay calm, radioed up the status and, hey, you guys okay? And just making sure that staying in control of the situation.
Really, when I went back and I looked at what happened, like, I think he saved my life twice, really. You know, definitely with the grenade that was behind me.
It is very awe-inspiring when you hear about a guy that doesn't think about it, you know, and it goes back to that same thing that I would say, you know, in our creed, never leaving a fallen comrade. You know, to be in a position where, you know, you're kind of pinned down, you're receiving direct fire, you're under, you know, attack from enemy grenades, and when you're faced with a situation that's dangerous like that a ranger will take his safety, put it aside, and execute without even action, without any guidance, to save 2 other rangers, that is very powerful.
Finally, the service of Leroy Petrie speaks to the very essence of America. That spirit that says no matter how hard the journey, no matter how steep the climb, we don't quit. We don't give up. Leroy lost a hand, and those wounds in his legs sometimes make it hard for him to stand. But he pushes on, and even joined his fellow Rangers for a grueling 20-mile march.
20-mile march with being shot in both
only on
legs?
his own recovery. But today he helps care for other wounded warriors, inspiring them with his example. Given his wounds, he could have retired from the Army with honor, but he chose to re-enlist. This is the stuff of which heroes are made. This is the strength, the devotion that makes our troops the pride of every American. And this is the reason that, like a soldier named Leroy Petrie, America doesn't simply endure, we emerge from our trials stronger, more confident, with our eyes fixed on the future. Our heroes are all around us, saluting one of those heroes, Leroy Petrie.
Dude. Damn. That guy's a level of man that I'm not even fucking near.
You know whose signature is on this bottle? That's Leroy Petrie's signature.
Wait, he's part of Cold Zero?
He is part of their group, but not only that, he lives about 30 minutes north of me. I've met him in person and shook his hand. He is a fucking legend in our.
Took a grenade, hand blown off, tourniquet that shit, and took out more guys and saved lives with a blown off hand.
Yeah. And you know the joke he tells when people say, if there's anything you would do differently, what would you do? He said, I would have used my left hand. That's the joke he tells, because his right hand got blown off. He said, I would have used my left hand. That's the joke he tells. He's a fucking good dude. Like I said, I've met him in person. He's a fucking solid dude. He lives like 30 minutes.
How does that guy walk? Forget about the shot in 2 legs.
Forget
How does that guy walk with them balls?
But yeah, so when I saw this bottle was signed by him, I had to freaking get it. Fucking hand signed by him. And so he gave the speech after my 3rd deployment. He was the guest speaker at the kind of welcome home ball or whatever. And transitioning from the Medal of Honor recipient videos to current news, gonna stay on Sergeant Petrie there. Not only is he a local legend to me, because like I said, he lives just up the way from me a little bit. But did you guys know that there's a Medal of Honor museum that just opened recently in Austin, Texas? To where there's a museum of Medal of Honor recipients that just opened like within the last year. And they invited Sergeant Petrie to go down there and do a thing. And so for current news, like, because after we go through the historical news, like things that happened in this month, Medal of Honor recipients and stuff like that, the next subject is current news. And so this is current. This just happened a couple weeks ago. That Sergeant Petrie went down to Texas for the new Medal of Honor museum down there.
Tomorrow, downtown Chattanooga, an outstanding event, the Charles H. Coolidge Medal of Honor Heritage Center's Celebration of Valor. It's an annual luncheon that supports the center and its education programs. Tomorrow's guest speaker, Medal of Honor recipient Leroy Petrie. I sat down with him yesterday after the parade in downtown Chattanooga.
I have a little hard time holding the microphone and talking with this hand anymore, but I am so grateful to be with you all here today.
Retired Army Master Sergeant Leroy Petrie has an amazing story to tell. He will share part of that story with Chattanooga on Wednesday.
So finding your own purpose and what you're good at and what you can be successful at helping others do is important.
And that's all I see is when I see a target opportunity to make something better or help somebody out, I take it.
Leroy Petrie was awarded the Medal of Honor in 2011, an Army Ranger fighting in Afghanistan. As his Medal of Honor citation explains, he was wounded in both legs by automatic weapons fire. And when a grenade landed close to Petrie and other Army Rangers, he picked up the grenade and threw it. But the grenade detonated as it was leaving his right hand. He lost the hand, but saved his fellow Rangers from being severely injured or potentially killed.
With the hand, it's more than I ever thought I would receive. I thought I was going to receive a hook. I actually did get a hook, and I was a pirate my first Halloween home with the kids. It's awesome. I was like, yeah, I got the real thing. But wow. I want people to see the technology. I want young adults and kids to see this technology. And right now, with a lot of the STEM schools and everything, kids are craving technology, and hopefully it'll inspire them, one of them, to build the next better thing for everyone.
Over this last week, he was in Washington, D.C. to see Signal Mountain's Larry Taylor being awarded the Medal of Honor.
I was excited in D.C. because the support that I saw come out for Larry from Chattanooga and from Tennessee.
Petrie spoke at the Welcome Home Parade for Taylor on Monday.
This is a special day. This is great for Chattanooga, it's great for Tennessee, it's great for our country.
And at that news conference after the parade, you can see Petrie sitting right next to Larry Taylor. He talked to me about the importance of honoring these Vietnam veterans while we still have the chance.
We can't forget them. We just lost our last World War II Medal of Honor recipient last year, and it's tough. We have one Korean War veteran. And those are the generations that are being lost if we don't share their stories and what they did and why they did it.
And capturing those stories is a big part of our mission right here on The Price of Freedom, thanks to Leroy Petrie.
All right. So carrying on with current news, there's the new Medal of Honor recipient museum, to where it's a whole museum just dedicated to Medal of Honor recipients in Texas. There was multiple cities that were bidding on this. Multiple cities across the country that were bidding on this. They wanted it in their city, and the city in Texas won for I don't know why, but that part wasn't included in the explanation. But the Medal of Honor recipient museum is in Texas, and it has recently, in this last year, made my bucket list. Before I die, I want to visit the Medal of Honor recipient museum because, like I said, it's a museum dedicated to Medal of Honor recipients. That's freaking awesome. So carrying on with current events, did you guys know, for the first time in history ever, and when I say ever, I mean ever, for the first time in history, a Medal of Honor recipient who received this Medal of Honor after he got out re-enlisted to rejoin the forces. This happened 2 weeks ago. For the first time in history as we know it, a Medal of Honor recipient joined back into the forces. Check this out. It's freaking awesome.
And once a Marine, always a Marine. It takes on a whole new meaning during a ceremony at the Pentagon Hall of Heroes. In case you missed it, here's my report on the reenlistment ceremony for Sergeant Dakota Meyer.
Told you it was Marine headed.
Secretary of Defense will now re-administer the oath of enlistment.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth welcomes home a Medal of Honor recipient to the Marine Corps. The reenlistment ceremony for Sergeant Dakota Meyer took place Thursday at the Pentagon Hall of Heroes. He will now serve in the Marine Corps Reserves 15 years after his honorable discharge in 2010 following 2 tours of duty in the Middle East. At just 21 years old, Dakota Meyer volunteered to go to Afghanistan to be an advisor to the Afghan army. On the morning of September 8, 2009, 2 platoons of Afghan soldiers walked into an ambush in the Kunar province. More than 50 Taliban fighters were hiding in the hills surrounding the village where the Afghan soldiers were supposed to meet with its elders. From their fortified position on the slopes, the Taliban rained down machine gun fire, rocket-propelled grenades, and mortar rounds. Sergeant Meyer and Staff Sergeant Juan Rodriguez Chavez hopped into a Humvee and charged into the ambush despite being denied permission for a rescue operation. Rodriguez Chavez drove, and Meyer took the gunner position, exposing his entire upper body to enemy fire. They saved dozens of lives over the course of numerous trips into the combat zone. By their 5th trip, a Black Hawk helicopter had arrived to provide air cover. It also radioed in that the bodies of 4 dead American service members lay behind in the chaos.
And when they finally got to those trapped Americans, Dakota jumped out, and he ran toward them, drawing all those enemy guns on himself, bullets kicking up the dirt all around him. He kept going until he came upon those 4 Americans laying where they fell, together as one team. Dakota and the others who had joined him knelt down, picked up their comrades, and through all those bullets, all the smoke, all the chaos, carried them out one by one. Because, as Dakota says, that's what you do for a brother.
Sergeant Meyer says the reason why he decided to serve his country in uniform once again after all these years was because of a conversation he had while speaking at a non-commissioned officer course. During the course, a young sergeant asked Meyer if it was worth it to re-enlist. Meyer's response to him was absolutely, despite the fact that Meyer had not chosen to do so himself. That caused Meyer to think long and hard about rejoining because he didn't want to advise others to continue serving and sacrificing if he wasn't willing to do it himself.
There hasn't been a single day since I've got out 15 years ago that I didn't wake up and truly want to serve again and truly want to wear and put this uniform on again. And to be able to do that is such an awesome honor of mine. And I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it because of the rank. I didn't want to do it for recognition. I just did it because the mission never left me. I just think that once you're in the fight, like that fight is just never going to leave you.
Both of Meyer's daughters, whom he had with ex-wife Bristol Palin, the daughter of former Alaska Governor Sarah Palin, were in attendance. The ceremony was also attended by Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, who is still serving in the Army Reserve herself.
All right.
Dang.
All right. So, do you guys hear the weight, the significance? It is the first time in history a Medal of Honor recipient re-enlists into the military after receiving the Medal of Honor. That's fucking crazy. Really, really fucking cool. And so that just happened like 2 weeks ago. So when it comes to recent military history, had to share that with you guys tonight, because that is pretty freaking documentary worthy. Like, what the heck?
Like I say, I don't know how some of these guys walk.
Well, as you say that, do you want to get to know him a little bit more?
I mean, I don't know if we're going to show that part of him, but yeah, sure.
Because I have another video that we can get to know him a little bit better, because it's a funny fucking video. It's very entertaining. Dakota Meyer is married to Sarah Palin's daughter. What? Wow, I did not know that.
What was married?
Was married, so no longer. I heard about it on an Unsaid podcast last week. I think I did see something about this. Yeah, because it was a big fucking deal, because it was the first time in history a Medal of Honor recipient re-enlisted back into the military, which is pretty fucking crazy. Let's see where. So this interview with Dakota is.
Our first guest is the only living Marine since Vietnam to receive the Medal of Honor, our nation's highest award for valor. Please welcome Sergeant Dakota Meyer, ladies and gentlemen. Have a seat, Sergeant. That is a very good-looking uniform.
Thank you.
Yeah, that guy
Do you get to wear that much in the Marine Corps?
You know, when I was in, I didn't get to wear it a lot, but I seem to be wearing it more often here lately.
Yeah. Tell us a bit about yourself. I know you're from Kentucky, is that correct?
Sir.
What city in Kentucky? What town there?
Columbia, Kentucky.
Where is that located?
South Central. It's about an hour and a half south of Louisville.
Mm-hmm. And life down there, good for you? Everything all right?
Yeah, it is. We live on a big farm. You know, well, not a big farm, about 300 acres.
Mm-hmm. What are you growing in Kentucky?
What are we growing? Or?
Not too big, 300 acres.
Now, wait a minute here. What's going on down there?
Well, you know, well, we raise beef cattle.
Oh, beef cattle.
Yeah.
Good for you. So you're a kid. You're in high school, just about ready to graduate from high school. Is that correct? And you're thinking about what you might want to do with your life, and you have some options. You want to. I know you played some football in high school.
I did.
What position?
I was a running back and pretty much anywhere.
Mm-hmm. A pretty good athlete.
I don't know. It just depends on what day it was.
And so you're thinking maybe I'll go to college and play some ball. You don't know. And there's a recruiter in your high school. Is that correct?
Yeah. He was sitting out. It was in the lunchroom, and he was sitting in the same uniform I'm in right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I was a smart aleck, so I went up to him, just talking to him and just kind of feeling him out. And he said, "So what are you going to do when you get out of high school?" I said, "Well, I'm going to go to college and play football." And his response to me was, "Well, that's what I would do too, because there's no way you could be a Marine." And then I turned around and walked off, and I thought about it for a minute, and I was like, "No, I'm going to do it." So I went back about 5 minutes later, and I said, "Let's go sign." I said, "If you pack your stuff up right now, I'll sign the papers."
Wow. And, did you later think that maybe you had fallen for a ploy, that this guy, that maybe you had been duped into this a little bit?
Is that what it was?
Well, I don't know.
No, and then the good part was, so I was 17, and we drove up there about an hour to get the paperwork, filled it out, and I had to have my father sign. So, you know, I'm sitting there at the kitchen table, and my dad gets off work with the Marine recruiter right next to me, and he just starts shaking his head. He looks at me and says, "Well, what are you doing now?" And I said, "Well, I think I'm going to join the Marine Corps." He said, "Well, did you really think this out?" I said, "I thought the whole way there and the whole way back here. I'm ready to do it."
Was it your grandfather also a Marine?
Yes, sir.
And that must have been some influence for you to make this decision?
Well, it wasn't. You know, he never really talked about it a lot. So I'd hear some here and there, but not a lot.
All right, so now you're committed to the Marine Corps, and you go off to basic training. Where'd you do basic training?
At Parris Island.
Parris Island.
Yeah, we were on the right coast.
The legendary, notorious Parris Island.
That
and
right,
was
Joe?
the boot camp
The right
as
coast.
hard and difficult as you want it to be?
Well,
I'm not going to argue with him.
Yeah.
But
He's a Medal of Honor winner. I'm not going to do it.
It was a wake-up call.
Recipient.
And, you know,
Recipient, my bad, man. I've had a few.
You could ever do. But now looking back, after everything in the Marine Corps, it was definitely the easiest thing in the Marine Corps.
Oh my goodness, that's really some comparison to be able to make, isn't it? Because look at me, I didn't go through boot camp at Parris Island, but I know a little bit about it, and if that was the easiest part of your deployment with the Marines, that really is incredible.
Yeah.
When they called you about the, by the way, did you ever run into the recruiter who said, "You'd never make it as a Marine"?
No, I haven't, but I'm still looking for him.
So you get the call. Who calls you about the Medal of Honor?
Well, you know, it's been going on for 2 years, back and forth. Just, you know, it'll peak up, people will talk about it, and then it goes away. And
Then finally we were like, oh, it's getting more serious because they assigned someone to start talking to me about it, the planning, and then I get a call on a Friday, and I'm on the lake. I was wakeboarding, and they said the president will call you at 11:50 on Monday. And they're like, listen, now you need to be on a landline, be there an hour prior. You know how the Marine Corps is. And I said, well, there's no way that's going to happen because I got to work. So I said, we're going to have to get him to call my cell phone, and I'll try to arrange my lunch break around that.
I'll see.
No, you're on my schedule.
I'll see if I can't squeeze that Medal of Honor phone call in around lunch.
Yeah.
And who did you talk to once that happened?
Well, so I'm sitting at this gas station waiting. I'm in this gas station. I'm all dirty. I've been greasing the Bobcat. And
wait a minute, is that it?
Is that a euphemism?
Sorry about that.
Something they do in Kentucky, right?
You've never done it?
No, I don't know. I'm not saying I have. I'm not saying I haven't. All right, so you've taken care of that. And now you're on the phone with somebody. Who are you on the phone with?
Some woman called, and she's like, let me say, they were late.
They were late.
Yeah. So some woman called, and then we were talking about it, and they're like, the president's here. He wants to talk to you. So then I'm talking to him, and he's just congratulating me, telling me he signed off on it, read about it, and said he'd be looking forward to meeting me. And then that was it.
How did that feel? You're talking to the president of the United States.
It was impressive, but he's a great guy, but I have work to get done.
Sergeant Meyer, you've just greased your Bobcat. Now what are you going to do? You asked the president, or asked someone about an appointment with the president, meeting with him at the White House. What did you want to do, and how did that go?
Well, I was speaking to the president's speechwriter for his remarks, and he says, is there anything else you want to say? I was like, well, actually, would you ask the president if he wants to have a beer? And, I figured they were going to be like, he can't do it, he's busy, this, that. And then 2 or 3 days later, I get a call, and they're like, be there at 5:30. And so I went and had a beer with the president.
Hey, fucking man. Amen.
There you go.
Having a beer with the president.
How was that? That must have been, historically, I think that's unprecedented. What a lovely moment for both of you, frankly. Did you enjoy yourself?
I did. It was great. I got to sit down and talk to him and ask him his opinions on, how to be successful and stuff like that.
What advice did he have for you?
Make sure to go get an education. He talked about don't make any rash decisions.
Oh, goodness, fucking great. All right, so absolutely fucking fantastic interview right there. With the first ever Medal of Honor recipient that re-enlisted into the military after receiving the Medal of Honor.
15 years after.
Yeah, first time in history. And when he got asked a request of the president, he said, let's like chill out. You want to have a beer? And he fucking got it. That is such a combat fucking soldier type shit to dude, man.
The only thing I'm saying is Mark needs to find this guy and get them to have a whiskey with him.
Dude, I love that, man. I love it. He's like, dude, I'm a combat soldier. What am I going to ask to do with this super important person? Are you down to fucking just hang out and have a beer with me?
Hey, and I don't care about your politics or whatever, who you liked, who you didn't like. The fact that the President of the United States said, "Fuck yeah, I'll have a beer with him."
Yeah, absolutely. Fucking hats off to that, man. That was fucking cool. Super awesome. Oh, I fucking love that. Do any of you guys else have anything else to say about like current things going on in military news or anything like that before we move on to the giveaway?
No, just it's just remarkable. You never know what situation you're going to be put under or in. You know what type of situations you face going overseas in training, because you know we do lose troops in training as well.
Yeah, 100%.
You never know what you're facing, but in each of those instances, you're always and proven by those soldiers and Marines, you always have your brother's back no matter what, you know.
No, 100%. Absolutely, Joe. Well said.
The only other thing I want to say is to keep this veteran and active duty rolling. You got Monday night. You got this guy right here with Red Monday. Remember, everyone deployed. He'll be going live. If you want to keep the military support rolling, you got a little Red Monday going on Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
On Independent Joe.
Troy, do you have anything you want to add before we move on to the next subject?
No, man, I'm just still floored about some of these videos you played tonight.
Yeah,
I think we need to get that guy to some whiskey, though. That's what I'm feeling like right now. I feel like that dude needs some whiskey.
I mean, every era that you put up, just hero after hero after hero, and then this last guy, he's a hero. He gets out for 15 years and goes back.
Yeah, and signs back up. Yeah. And that's why I felt the urge to highlight that.
Yeah.
When I was doing my research to do this with you guys tonight, the cards fell on the table, and I just felt that urge to fucking share that with you guys, because all the things that I shared with you guys tonight, I felt were significant and really impactful stories that I wanted to share with you guys and with everybody else. It doesn't get talked about enough. It certainly doesn't.
But thanks for doing this, Mark. This is every month. This is definitely a treat, something that people can look forward to, and you know, everybody, whether you served yourself or you have somebody that served that made an impact on your life, you know, this is definitely a place where you can come and share their story or share your own story, and I definitely look forward to these monthly lives.
Thank you, Joe. Got a big World War II anniversary for next one. Yeah, absolutely. It's time for water again. Roger that. Thank you for taking me back to the basics. Very appreciate you, buddy. All right, so we are going to do the giveaway right now before we move on to other stuff. So anybody that's watching us live right now, just put in the chat that you are here for formation and you are fucking here. Just type something.
Do you want me to create a wheel for you, bro?
You're present and accounted for. You're fucking Roger Sargent. I'm here.
Hey,
and I'll put
Mark,
you on the
did you
wheel.
get Joe's one to do the
Do you
wheel?
want me to do the wheel for you so you can do whatever you need to do while everybody's putting here, so you don't stop the flow?
I have the wheel up.
Oh, you got it ready? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I've got it ready. And
Okay,
so
gotcha.
everybody that's
This
here,
man's ready for action. I'm just saying.
no, dude, I love you so much, Joe. No homo. So I've got Bourbon, Troy, Independent Joe. You guys are already on the wheel. And anybody else that's live, you're going to be entered into get a sample of the Horse Soldier 80th Anniversary World War II edition. This is a very fucking special bottle because I told you guys an hour ago, but I'm going to remind you right now. They took a bunch of these bottles and they fucking parachuted down onto Normandy Beach on the 80th anniversary of D-Day with a bunch of these bottles.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah.
And Vince squared away one of those bottles for me.
Wait, so that's one of the jump bottles?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sick.
And so you're going to get a sample of a bottle of the 80th anniversary of D-Day that fucking jumped in Normandy. And I'm going to send you a sample just for being here hanging out with us. And that's all you got to do.
Cheers, Anthony Dennis.
Yep.
And cheers to everybody in the chat. That's awesome that you.
And Anthony and anybody else, reminder, you can come on and join us. You don't need a fancy setup, just a cell phone, just a
link.
Anything.
So Big Vic is here. Mr. Mom is here. Let's see. Orlando, Eric Gunderson.
And Eric's been doing work tonight, by the way.
Dude, I fucking love Eric. I'm gonna send him a fucking sample of this, even if he doesn't win.
He's a fucking legend.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Gandhi Road is here.
He might have just got a nice, healthy hand delivery.
James Morgan is here, but James, you live on the other side of the pond. I don't know if I can send you a fucking sample of this in Europe.
Raging Cajun is here.
So Anthony, fucking thanks for this. I needed this. I can't tell you how much that comment means to me. Go to Northwest Bourbon on YouTube. Go to the playlist. Go to the veterans live streams, and you'll see that we do this every freaking month. And every month we highlight things going on in the military for sub month.
Yeah, and that's it too, man. You ever need anybody to talk to? All of us are reachable.
Absolutely.
Like that's no bullshit. Phones are on. Emails are out there.
Absolutely. I appreciate you being here tonight. I hope to see you again next month. Thank you for your service. Big Vic, thanks for being here. Scott
Cheers, man.
Under. Dude, Australia is still in the house.
Well, he's probably having coffee.
He's wired now. Out freaking standing.
Eric, thanks for this. I look forward to it each month. Dude, I appreciate you, Eric. Thanks for shouting out the drinking water every 10 minutes.
Yeah,
because we have got to remember to hydrate and drink more water than we're drinking whiskey.
Definitely.
100%. I've got Gandhi Road on the wheel. I've got to put Raging Cajun on the wheel. Hold on.
Raging Cajun is present.
Yep. All right, so I've got Bourbon, I've got Troy, I've got Independent Joe, I've got Anthony, I've got Big Vic, I've got Orlando, I've got Eric, I've got Gandhi Road, I've got Raging Cajun. Anybody else watching us live, if they want to get in.
Did you get Mr. Mom?
Orlando. Nope, I gotta put Orlando on there. That's Mr. Mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did Ben from the North drop off? He was on earlier too.
Yeah, I know, but I can't send him fucking whiskey in Canada.
Oh, that's right. Make him cross the border.
No, I shouldn't talk about this on live.
No.
So we'll talk about that later. I have gotten him some bottles though.
Yeah. We
Really, I need to hear about that because I have somebody up there. We'll talk in the afterward.
Well, no, he has a bottle of Horse Soldier and a Maker's Cast Strength from me, because we found a mutual friend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was gonna say it's easy with Canadian Chris. His mother-in-law lives in Michigan.
You can't make whiskey without water, and you can't drink water. Yep, absolutely. Fucking love you, Ken. I need a passport. Yeah, get a passport.
Jeremy Dirks is still here.
There you go.
Jeremy, I want to put you on the wheel.
Hey, wasn't there a song about that guy?
He's spoken. I know that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Something like that.
Raging Cajun, Orlando, Jeremy Dirks. All right, I'm gonna give you guys a sample of this 80th anniversary.
There it is. The wheel of
It's a
whiskey.
beautiful wheel.
Yo.
All right, I'm gonna give Troy one.
There you go. Save some shipping costs on that one.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
And it's going to a vet. That's fucking perfect.
Heck yeah.
All right, I'm gonna remove you.
Yeah, screw that guy.
Damn it. It started on me. It won't end on me. Or maybe it will. Make sure mine's filled up to the brim, because I'm going to share it with somebody too.
There you go. Fucking
Hey, you know what?
Two vets on stream. That was cool.
I'll send you 2 1 ounce, so you can have one.
Well, because you already filled the bottles. I have a bottle to ship to somebody. I'll ship it to somebody.
Okay. So Troy and Joe.
Yeah, you don't waste your bottles. You already have 2 filled up. So.
Well, Mark, if you want to put a little 1 ouncer in with that other bottle, we're going to be sending somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Well, that's pretty cool. I mean, thank you for doing this, Mark.
Here. No. It's not, I want to make that clear. That little reference I just made is not to me, as to somebody else in this community who needs some stuff.
But this is a very special 80th anniversary bottle that you're not gonna fucking find again. You're not, because not only is it an exclusive bottle, but this jumped with them on the beaches of fucking Normandy on the 80th anniversary.
Yeah, that's some fucking America shit right there.
That's awesome.
Fantastic bottle. And I'm excited to share a sample with you guys. And so we are moving on to the last portion of the night, which is the AAR. If we're going to do this again next month, which we are, we're going to do this again next month. So all the people on the panel and in the chat, tell me if we're going to do this again next month, what we should do the same and what should we do differently. Give me those after action review. What should we do better, or what should we do the same?
Yeah.
Give me those after action reviews.
Well, I'll start and say that I'm happy that this stream has grown from barely an hour to well over 2 hours with tons of people watching now.
I was thinking the same thing, Ben.
Yeah, that it's finally getting to be the real deal, what it deserves. I know it's hard on you, but you're doing research, and it's that hard on. But I think it's fucking great, man. I don't know what else to say.
Thank you. No, there's a lot of backstage research and work that I do that to hear you say that it's appreciated, it means a lot to me.
I do have a segment ad thought that I've been having. And that is, you honor the fallen. How about honoring the living? Honoring the living that fought or are fighting right now and calling out their names.
You mean like people deployed or something like that?
People deployed, maybe people even on screen who fought for us. Like even if it's not on the board, even if you just shout them out, just an honor the living service.
No, yeah. Okay, so there has been times in the fact that I've brought up the what units are currently deployed right now, and I show what units are deployed in Europe or Asia or whatever, and I didn't get much feedback on that, and so I kind of stopped.
Oh no, I'm talking about like friends, family, loved ones.
Oh.
I don't know how to incorporate it. I'm just thinking about it. It's something that popped in my head when we're talking about the fallen. I'm thinking about, like, for instance, thank God my dad's still with us. It's his birthday in a few days. So I don't bring him up because it's, we're honoring the fallen instead of honoring.
You still can. You did earlier. You did bring him up earlier,
right,
and talk about how he was out there and he had to take off his patches. So I mean, we still talk about it. You can still talk.
Yeah, but I'm talking about honoring your ass. I'm talking about honoring his. I'm talking about honoring Troy. I'm talking about honoring your daughter that's serving right now. That's all.
And that's one of the things I thought of is that Joe's daughter is deployed right now, and so highlighting on a personal level stuff like that, man, that's gonna take a lot of fucking legwork in finding the individuals to highlight them.
Oh, no, I'm talking about shouting, even just shouting out loved ones, family, friends. Just shout out.
Military home kind of covers that too, because he has on the board military home. So anything that's current, anything you want to shout out, he says that during the military home portion.
It's just an idea I've kind of had that's kind of been building. It's like,
oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you've been talking about your daughter deploying. Like, that's fucking huge and deserves to be, highlighted.
Oh yeah. Well, if she was deployed right now, I definitely would bring that up. But
that's what, weeks away right now?
No. I can't say when, but little couple of months late, a few down the line. So
yeah. No, it makes perfect sense. But finding people that have family members deployed to shout them out is super hard to do ahead of time.
Well, or just living.
You're right. Right.
I'm not talking about ahead of time. I'm talking about in the stream. I'm talking about people in chat, people on screen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Even if it's short, just call it like, I don't know, roll call or something like Orlando was saying.
Well, that's what he's doing with the roll call, is the putting what service you are attached to or the people that serve with attached to. That's in the.
He don't got to do it. Just an AAR idea.
Yeah.
So a roll call of living veterans.
Yeah. Well, that's what
is that kind of what you were talking about, Ben?
Either living vets or, you know, actively deployed or active duty.
Okay.
I mean, maybe we could even make a little, you know, I don't know, a little scroll of it or something. I don't know.
No, yeah. I think that very could tie in very easily with current military news.
Yeah, I don't know. Well,
yeah.
Or military home, you know, like people who are serving now, people you care about.
Right.
That just could be an addition to, you know, does anybody want to shout out anybody who's deployed or anything like that?
No, absolutely.
Shout out.
I'm 100% on board. Have a space for people to shout out. Because I already do what's going on in the military these days.
Yeah.
But kind of focus and signify people that you know that are currently doing stuff. Like
people still breathe and doing the thing or have done the thing.
Right. Current. Yeah.
Like, what are we going to do when it's Mark's birthday? What are we going to do when it's Joe's birthday? What are we going to do when it's Troy's birthday? You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, I had my own celebration. I'm grateful for everybody who showed up, by the way. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, happy birthday again, Joe. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Appreciate you guys showing up.
So let's close out the poll. So the poll tonight of which military branch or service do you represent? 49% Army and Coast Guard, 28% Navy Marines, 15% Army Space Force, and 8% other countries' service. Greatly appreciate all you guys representing and being here for that. I told you guys I was going to do the giveaway before we got onto taps, and we did that. And
cheers,
so,
Anthony. Appreciate you.
You guys are going to receive a sample of this Patriot shout out. Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of Patriots in the ranks. Call it in the ranks. Yep. There's a lot of military service members in the chat and watching us live, and I appreciate all you guys. I am going to move on to taps. As long as we don't have anything else that we haven't covered.
I think we're good.
Yes, sir.
So if any of you guys want to join us in the backstage, we're going to do a little bit of shenanigans, not too late because we got stuff to do tomorrow because we are manly men and we have other people we've got to take care of aside from ourselves.
Definitely.
And so tomorrow we have things to do.
Maybe there are some bunnies.
I'm driving up to see the Bourbon Baller.
Yeah.
Really?
Nice.
Tons of stuff we got to do.
Yeah, give him a hug for me.
I might have to bother you now, Troy. Yeah, and from me from the back.
Will do for sure.
So we've already given away 2 different samples of this Horse Soldier 80th anniversary. We talked about the Horse Soldier 80th anniversary is the whiskey of the month. We honored the fallen. We recognized other things that happened in the month of May, from the Civil War, the World War II, Korean War, Vietnam, Afghanistan, and current military news. There's a lot of shit going on in the month of May, and I appreciate you guys all being here and hanging out and having some drinks with us. And I'm going to share taps before we sign out. If anybody on screen has anything they want to share before we close it out, you're more than welcome to do it now.
It's going to be May. What?
Cheers, everybody out there.
All right.
Cheers.
All right. Love you guys. Make sure you're taking care of yourself, because if you're not taking care of yourself, you cannot take care of those around you. And be a good influence on those within your sphere of influence. And until next time, I will see you next time.
Cheers, everybody.